Humanity has a terrible habit. We keep digging up things the earth very clearly tried to hide. Archaeology sounds noble in textbooks. Careful science, brushes, notes, respect for history. But in reality, most of the craziest discoveries in history happened because someone tripped, fell into a hole, or ignored every instinct that said, "Do not touch that." School pretends these finds were enlightening. Truth is they unleashed curses, lawsuits, conspiracies, scientific fistfights, and enough chaos to make the ground itself wish it had stayed closed. Today we are looking at 22 archaeological discoveries that were not planned, not safe, not welcomed, and absolutely should have stayed 6 feet under with the rest of the world's regrets. So let us start with one of the earliest moments where humanity basically said, "What's the worst that could happen if I poke the dirt?" 1. The Terracotta Army accident. In 1974, a group of farmers were just trying to dig a well. They expected water, maybe mud. Definitely not 8,000 stone soldiers, staring back at them like they had interrupted a 2,000-year-old staff meeting. The myth says it was a glorious discovery that changed archaeology forever. Reality says the government immediately confiscated their land, bulldozed their homes, and told everyone to smile for the cameras. The farmers got nothing, tourism got everything. And the emperor's actual tomb remains sealed because even modern archaeologists are scared of what might be inside. If ancient China wanted to keep something buried, this was absolutely on that list. 2. Ötzi the Iceman. In 1991, 2 hikers spotted what they thought was a dead tourist sticking out of the ice. They called authorities to report a body. Turns out the tourist was 5,300 years old and had an arrow lodged in his shoulder like he died mid-episode of some prehistoric crime drama. Scientists celebrated the discovery. Everyone involved in the findings started experiencing freak accidents, injuries, and bizarre deaths. The media shouted curse, researchers shouted coincidence. Either way, Ötzi became the world's coldest cold case. And humanity once again proved we cannot look at a frozen corpse and think, maybe leave it alone. 3. The Baghdad vampire tomb. Construction workers were digging a foundation in Iraq when their shovels hit something solid. They expected pottery, maybe a wall, not skeletons with giant metal nails hammered through their skulls like medieval safety pins. Local news instantly yelled, "Vampires." Archaeologists tried to explain it was an ancient ritual meant to stop angry spirits, not Dracula's cousins. Nobody listened. Panic spread anyway. Workers refused to return to the site without religious blessings, extra pay, or both. The whole dig shut down for days. This is why you should not disturb graves that look like they were designed by someone trying really hard to keep something inside. 4. The Antikythera mechanism. A group of sponge divers were just looking for sponges off the coast of Greece. They dove too deep. One came back up screaming about a pile of dead bodies. Turns out he found a shipwreck full of statues, bronze, treasure, and one weird metal object nobody could explain. The device looked like something NASA lost. Cogs, gears, astronomical calculations. A literal ancient computer sitting at the bottom of the sea. Scientists spent decades fighting about what it was. Some said calendar. Some said navigation tool. Some whispered alien tech just to annoy the rest. If Atlantis had a calculator, this was probably it. 5. The Rosetta Stone accident. A French soldier in Napoleon's army was digging a trench. He expected dirt, maybe a few boring rocks. Instead, he hit a slab covered in mysterious carvings that looked like someone tried to write a novel using 3 different alphabets at once. The myth says it was a heroic discovery that unlocked the secrets of ancient Egypt. Reality says the soldier had no idea what it was. The French immediately stole it. The British immediately stole it from the French. And every museum on Earth has been arguing about ownership ever since. The stone solved Egyptian writing but started 2 centuries of international drama. It was probably happier underground. 6. The Bogbody crime scenes. Peat cutters in Europe kept finding what looked like fresh murder victims buried in the mud. Perfectly preserved faces, skin still intact, hair still visible. Naturally, police panicked and opened full homicide investigations. Detectives rushed in, took photos, interviewed locals, and prepared for the arrest of the century. Then archaeologists arrived and said, "Relax. These guys died 2,000 years ago. The bodies were sacrifices, not murders, cold cases turned into ancient history overnight." Nothing disappoints a detective more than realizing the suspect has been dead since the Iron Age. "11. The Copper Scroll Treasure Map." Archaeologists were cataloging Dead Sea documents like it was just another Tuesday. Most scrolls were papyrus, old, fragile, normal. Then someone pulled out one made entirely of metal. A copper sheet engraved with a list of locations and absurd amounts of gold and silver buried underground. Scholars argued. Treasure hunters nearly rioted. Governments got suspicious. Teams spent decades searching for treasure that may never have existed. The scroll basically turned archaeology into a real-life side quest nobody could complete. 12. The Demon Skeleton of Mexico. Miners in Chihuahua uncovered a tiny malformed skeleton with a narrow skull and oversized eye sockets. Photos leaked online. The internet instantly screamed alien. UFO hunters packed their bags. Documentaries were filmed before scientists even arrived. Then researchers examined it and calmly explained it was the remains of a deformed infant from centuries ago. Mystery solved. Internet disappointed. Conspiracy theorists refused to let it die. The skeleton did not belong in space, but the drama definitely did. 13. The London plague pits that won't stay buried. Every time London tries to build something new, the ground decides to traumatize someone. Construction crews dig a few feet down. Suddenly bones, even more bones. Entire mass graves from the Black Death, sitting directly beneath coffee shops and train stations. Workers panic. Authorities block off the site. Historians show up like it is Christmas. Then health officials arrive to make sure nobody just unleashed a medieval disease again. Nothing stops a construction project faster than realizing the past still has skeletons in the closet, literally. 14. The rediscovery of Angkor's lost city. In the 1970s, pilots flying above Cambodia noticed strange lines in the jungle. Straight lines. Perfect grids. Not natural. Not random. Just a forgotten city the size of a modern metropolis hiding under vines. Archaeologists scanned the area and realized Angkor wasn't a small temple. It was a massive urban network with canals, roads, neighborhoods, and probably ancient traffic jams. The discovery rewrote Southeast Asian history. And all of it began because a pilot got bored staring at trees and looked down at the right moment. This is what happens when entire civilizations hit the disappear quietly button and nature cooperates for centuries. 15. The Viking ghost choir burials. Construction workers in Scandinavia were leveling land for a building when they hit wooden chambers. They opened them expecting debris. Instead, they found Viking skeletons surrounded by musical instruments. Drums, flutes, lyres. Everything arranged like the dead were about to perform a concert. Rumors flew instantly. Locals whispered about cursed music. Tourists thought it was a ritual choir of the undead. Folklore exploded overnight. Then archaeologists ruined the party by explaining it was just symbolic burial tradition. The only real mystery is why ancient Vikings needed a band in the afterlife. 16. The forbidden kofun tombs of Japan. Farmers plowing fields kept hitting giant keyhole-shaped mounds under the soil. They reported them expecting old houses or pottery. Turns out these were imperial tombs of ancient Japanese rulers. Not just graves, sacred, massive, untouched for centuries. Archaeologists begged to study them. Historians begged to enter them. The government said absolutely not and sealed them off permanently. Zero access. Zero excavation. Zero peeking. To this day, nobody knows what secrets are inside. When even the authorities say, please stop digging, you know the past is hiding something spicy. 17. The Göbekli Tepe accident. A Kurdish shepherd noticed a weird stone sticking out of the ground. He thought it was part of a fence. He tried to move it. It refused. Archaeologists arrived, brushed off a little dirt, and immediately realized this was not a fence. It was a 12,000-year-old megalithic structure older than Stonehenge, older than farming, older than basically every timeline humans believed in. The discovery detonated archaeology. It rewrote human civilization. It made textbooks obsolete overnight. All because a shepherd saw a rock and thought, that looks wrong. Göbekli Tepe was not supposed to be found, and it certainly was not supposed to ruin centuries of academic certainty, but here we are. 18. The black sarcophagus that broke the internet. In 2018, construction workers in Alexandria hit something huge and dark underground. A giant black granite coffin straight out of a horror movie. The internet screamed, "Do not open IT." People begged the government to leave it sealed forever. Memes about ancient curses hit global speed. Naturally, archaeologists ignored all warnings and opened it anyway. Inside they found mud, bones, and a smell so awful it almost killed the team on the spot. No curse, just 3 decomposed soldiers and centuries of nightmare juice. The world expected a mummy king. We got ancient sewage. Some things really should have stayed buried, starting with that smell. 19. The Staffordshire Hoard. A man with a cheap metal detector wandered into a farmer's field hoping to find old coins or maybe a bottle cap to brag about. Instead, he uncovered the largest collection of Anglo-Saxon gold ever found in Britain. Helmets, weapon fittings, intricate goldwork that should not have survived the centuries. He nearly passed out. Then the legal war began. Museums fought for it. Historians scrambled to rewrite early medieval England. The farmer demanded his share. The government stepped in. And the detectorist? He just wanted a weekend hobby and accidentally found a treasure worth millions. Proof that sometimes archaeology is just extremely lucky lawn mowing. 20. The Dragon Man's skull. A construction worker in China found a massive skull while repairing a bridge. He looked at it, realized it looked weird, panicked, and hid it in a well for 80 years. Not joking. He literally dropped a new human species down a hole because he did not want to deal with paperwork. Decades later, the skull resurfaced. Scientists examined it, and everyone realized this wasn't Homo sapiens. This was a Neanderthal. It was something else entirely, a giant featured member of the human family tree we did not know existed. One accidental discovery rewrote our evolutionary chart because someone was trying to avoid a conversation with their boss. 21. The Yonaguni underwater pyramids. A diver off the coast of Japan went exploring one afternoon because the water looked pretty. He expected coral, maybe a fish. Definitely not a staircase carved into the seafloor that looked like an ancient city eaten by the ocean. Photos went viral instantly. Some scientists said it was man-made. Others said it was natural rock erosion. Then conspiracy theorists screamed Atlantis. The debate still has not ended. No inscriptions, no artifacts. Just giant geometric stone formations daring humanity to guess wrong. Whatever Yonaguni is, it sits underwater looking smug, and the ocean was clearly hiding it for a reason. 22. The Moai bodies of Easter Island. For centuries, everyone thought the Easter Island statues were just giant heads. Then archaeologists started digging around one of them out of curiosity. And the ground said, surprise, full bodies, carved torsos, ancient tattoos and inscriptions hidden beneath centuries of soil. People lost their minds. Scientists scrambled to understand the engineering behind moving such massive structures. The discovery revealed new clues about the island's forgotten society, their rituals, and their collapse. But it also raised a terrifying question. What else is buried under there that we have not uncovered yet? The islands might be sitting on secrets that genuinely prefer being left alone. And there you have it. 22 archaeological discoveries the Earth buried on purpose, and humanity dug up anyway like a toddler opening a cursed gift box. If this video taught you anything, it is this. History is not mysterious. History is not magical. History is a series of accidents caused by people who were absolutely not supposed to be digging there in the first place. So tell me, which accidental discovery freaked you out the most? Which one made you think, yeah, that should have stayed underground forever? Drop it in the comments. Like the video if your brain feels slightly contaminated by ancient secrets. Subscribe if you enjoy watching humanity ignore every cosmic do not touch sign ever created. And remember, if the ground is hiding something, there is probably a very good reason.